Hello everybody. Now over the past couple of weeks I've gotten to play against titled players, which are super elite players who have won their title playing over the board tournaments. Now, I've only played a few games, and here are 10 games. These are really the only games I've gotten to play against titled players, but hope you enjoy the video. I ended up hanging a pawn here. King f7 to protect the pawn, but there's nothing really I can do because King f7 was just too dangerous. In the game, I had no idea that my bishop was protected, and I just hung it. That's what I thought originally. Bullet, it's never good to be equal time as the opponent and also be in a worse position against them, which I was in this case. I was down a few pawns. Now you may notice in the next few games, I'll be playing faster, but that's because some of these games take place at different times, on different days. As you can see, I'm up a few seconds, which wouldn't matter much usually. However, because we're both already very low on time, this is actually very good for me. I've just basically got to hold on and move quickly and not blunder anything. Ended up teasing them with a possible repetition. They were playing really slowly, like they should be pre-moving like half of their moves here. They just fell apart. And I win game 1 with a stylish rook sacrifice at the end. This player's name, well, he's a chess master. His name is Hoplex. I thought that was a really cool name. Sounds like sounds kind of like it came from Minecraft, even though I know it didn't. Just a pretty unique name. Now, if rook takes bishop here, it looks like that just wins a bishop. There's just rook e8 checkmate. Her back rank just isn't defended. Bishop takes h7 was pretty risky here, as they can trap my bishop and I'll have to sacrifice my bishop or my knight. I thought much longer than I should have here. I ended up just going for the knight sacrifice, because the board was pretty opened up and I had a lot of pawns on dark squares. They were playing some pretty annoying moves, but I was up about 10 seconds at this time. I went for a simple bishop c4, pin just trying to get their knight to not move. Right now my h and my g pawns are the two pawns that are really helping me this game. Now I'm up over double the time that they have. The way this game ended was actually really cool. Man, now they have 5 seconds, 4 seconds, 3 seconds. They're just really falling apart here. I have over 20 seconds still. Here they actually started moving faster. I promoted to a knight and won the game. And this is game 3. I've had a perfect win-loss ratio so far of 2 wins and 0 losses, 0 draws. Now also, I ended up playing against a grandmaster at the end of this video, so just make sure to keep watching because that was actually really cool to play against them. In this game, I'm pretty sure it was actually on tilt, and ended up playing pretty slowly, and I was just completely worse. My lack of opening knowledge really does show in a lot of these games. I completely hung my knight here. And I'm also a bit low on time. This person was playing really well, as he was able to play quickly and just have a better position than me. I found rook g6 here, which I thought was really clever, but it actually really wasn't. So it just hung my rook on f8. I was not supposed to take that d-pawn with my king. That was just super risky. Now we're both very low on time. Like the other players, he was actually starting to play slowly, which surprised me. Yeah, I just hung my rook again for the 10th time. This is still very winnable, but, you know, nerves can get in the way. He was pre-moving a lot, which usually can be fine, but in this scenario, maybe it's not perfect. Like, he pre-moved his rook to d1 a few moves ago, and that could be a completely bad move. And I just lost the game. My first loss of this video. This is game 4. I ended up playing a very dubious opening, and my position just looked a lot worse. My queen got completely bullied here. Had to move it 3 times, which is never a good thing in the opening. Well, I guess it can be good if the opponent just keeps hanging their own pieces, but it's not like these titled players would be doing that in regular 1-minute bullets. This game, I'm pretty sure I was also on tilt. Like, what is king d7? It's just queen takes bishop. Yeah, as you can see, I got a bit upset with myself to move my king around there. I just stuck. I ran with my king. I was really hoping that maybe I could clutch up on time like I've been able to do. I'll just let the game play out. And then I just blundered checkmate. There wasn't really much I could do to save that. So first 2 games were wins, and then the next 2 games were losses. Now in game 5 I actually got what I like to call the best pawn structure ever, because see my pawns on the king side, they're 2x2 like that. Pawns are insanely good like that. Like, it is crazy. Now, it's only ever not good if there's a queen and a rook batteried up along the H file, because then it's really hard for your king to escape that. All those checkmate threats. And it's just really hard for them to bring their queen out. I hung my knight here, which is not very good, but fortunately they did not see it. Here the position is still very equal, but I am up a few seconds. When they put their d rook to f1, I actually found this really nice knight takes e3 move. It wins a pawn because the rook takes queen, knight takes queen, and I just win a pawn from that. We both get each other's queens. And I'm also attacking their rook, so if they ever move their queen, which is what they did, I just get up the exchange. Actually, up a rook. That is very, very good. So now I'm just completely winning. They're low on time and they resigned. This is a reminder to subscribe. As of the making this video, I actually have only 5 subscribers, but we all start somewhere. I ended up completely blundering here, just showing how bad my opening is. I feel like if my opening was significantly better, I might be like 2,000 rated. But as of this video, I'm about 1,700. I was down 3 points of material here, but I was trying to damage their pawn structure. I should not have traded queens here. I was up a lot of time, and I was down 3 points of material. I should have just taken their d-pawn, but it can be hard to see free pieces in bullet. Again, I am still very high up on time, but they ended up finding this bishop pin, and it looks to be taking my knight. My king has to take, of course, and then there's just bishop d4, which is a discovered check. They can just take my b-pawn. But I am up a lot of time, so I was still very confident I could win this game despite being down quite the material deficit. And as you can see, they're down to 6 seconds now, 5 seconds now, almost 4. And 4 seconds now, 3 seconds now, almost 2. And I just win. The stylish rook sacrifice pre-move. Reminder to like the video if you've been enjoying it so far. So this is game 7. My first 2 games were wins, next 2 games were losses, and then another 2 wins in a row. So based on this rate, you're expecting me to lose this game. Well, let's see if that actually does happen. I ended up finding a little knight fork, which is kind of irrelevant. I think it doesn't actually win material. My position does feel slightly better here. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it's probably just equal. Now here was where I kind of fell apart, actually. I planned on sacrificing my bishop by bringing my rook over, and I thought a lot of time here. So I sacrificed a lot of time and my bishop. But guess what? Their bishop just defends the h3 square, which I completely overlooked. And of course, in order to bring my other rook to the game, I'll have to open up a space for my king. Realistically, I should have gone like rook d4 or something like that. Trying to get my rook to h4 and then delivering a checkmate somewhere. However, we both are pretty low on time, although I am up a few extra seconds. So I was pretty confident going into this position with the amount of time we both had. I considered trading queens, and I was like, whatever, I'll just attack their queen, make them burn even more time. Because chances are they would pre-move recapturing. I just made some reasonable moves. I was planning on just sacking my queen for the fun of it, but I was like, why not just play it safe? Game 8 against a FIDE master. We have 5 wins and 2 losses. That's really good so far. Judging that, I'm playing against people who've gotten insane ratings in over-the-board tournaments. Whether it be FIDE or USCF. Here I was doing quite good. I was up on material and the clock, we were both pretty even on the clock. However, they have that very, very dangerous b-pawn that they got in the opening. Fortunately, queen c1 doesn't work because there's queen d1. Around here they found this insane rook sacrifice. They were thinking here, rook takes c2. Very, very beautiful. The idea is if I take with the bishop, I'm forced to block with my bishop and I get checkmated. And rook takes c2 also threatens a mate. This is game 9 against another FIDE master. And the next game will be against a literal grandmaster. That was a very, very fun game. Right now the score is 5 wins by yours truly, the chess studier, and 3 losses for the titled players. 3 wins for the titled players. Ended up playing a very, very messy opening. I completely got the center, and I was just completely dying here. only safe square for my knight is on h4. A4. Afterwards, there's just basically no way for me to defend my knights. Just kind of unfortunate. And I was down at seconds on the clock. I blundered a fork and they were just kind of destroying me. Like, chances are this title player probably recently got out of tilt and now is actually playing like an absolute monster. Not any ordinary 1900 or 2000 rated bullet player. He just absolutely smoked me like it's crazy. Yeah, their bishop on c6 was hanging, their light squared bishop was hanging a couple moves ago, but yeah, it happens. Especially when you know you're playing against very, very good chess players. They did start to play kind of slow, but I was forced to trade queens. I pre-moved, but it just led to checkmate in one move. Yeah, they were rated 2000. Game 10 against a woman grandmaster. That is incredible. You can literally tell by my live moves that I was kind of shaking as I'm making these moves, and I traded down a lot of pieces. I recommend if you're playing against very good players to try and keep the game in the middle game and not the end game. That's because chances are they'll have just generally more experience and abilities in the middle game. They'll also probably be better in the opening, but the middle game is really mysterious because anything can happen there. Even the best players in the world can blunder there. Now, they could have been taking that pawn, but they just absolutely destroyed me. Like, it was just crazy how they were able to make that passed pawn. Right now, I was just trying to do whatever I could to get to that pawn. That was my mindset in this game. Now, I've never in my life played against an international master yet, but a woman grandmaster, I'm pretty sure, is a pretty similar requirements as the general version of grandmaster. For those of you who don't know, there are a woman version and the other just general version of titles that you can obtain. So there's women grandmasters and just regular grandmaster titles. Women can still get these grandmaster titles, but men cannot get the woman grandmaster titles, for example, or any other woman type title. Realistically, I could have actually probably gone for the win because they were incredibly low on time. But I just pre-moved that stylish move. I kind of learned my lesson here about making those moves because this wasn't the most recent game I've had against a title player.